here in Audi, South Africa, Audi Sandton, South Africa, and we have all new Audi RSQ3. Now this part just dropped in SA, but it's been around for a while in other markets, mainly Europe. But let's talk about Audi's fast crossover. In my opinion, probably the best looking crossover out right now. So right now with the interior, obviously it's largely unchanged from the normal model, but you get a lot of RS accents. So you got RS over here, you can't see it right now, but there's a little bit of an RS badge over here, I think. Then you got RS floor mats, and then this is an actual package. You got the glossy black over here, so the piano black, obviously this is fingerprint mania, and you got this Alcantara over here. This what would be scratchy plastic if this was cheaply made, but this is Audi, so it's not. So it's really nice and soft touch. There's a lot of soft touch plastics all over the place. It's plastic, but it looks a lot like aluminium. The parts that you will touch though feel a lot like aluminium or stainless steel, and the parts that you won't, obviously doesn't really matter. This is a little bit of a scratchy plastic over here, but when you do touch, it feels really premium, really good. I commend Audi on this, because a lot of car companies, especially BMW and Mercedes, they tend to just put a lot of plastic that'll shake around. This is very stiff. This is very well built. It'll last you really long. Moving to other parts of the interior, you got Alcantara over here, which just feels incredible. I do prefer leather. I mean, if I'm driving for hours and hours, like this weekend of filming, so we're filming Easter weekend right now, normally you'd be driving long distances. It's pretty hot weather right now, so you'd end up sweating on this, and that would be annoying. That being said, it doesn't feel cheaply made. Also, you got the D, so it's flat around here. This helps a lot in terms of like just confidence while driving. If you were taller, then this helps in terms of space. Obviously you can move the chairs around and everything, but this just feels better than a normal circular steering wheel. Then you got your infotainment screen over here. Actually, let's turn this car on. I'm gonna turn the car on. So, button brake, start button is below. So you get your infotainment over here. Then you have your other screen over here, where you get all the normal drive information. So down here, you got obviously your different drive selections. You got your emergencies. You have a phone. Let me get the phone. So you got a phone charger that will just sit over here. It's wireless charging. This is an actual option. I'm gonna get to that later. You got so the nice thing about this is that this is an actual screen. When I do turn on the car, or when you do, you're able to see different options over here that are displayed. Now you don't press these options, but you'll be able to see them. Then you got your volume options, and then your temperature gauges for different things like heated seats, for defogging the windscreen and other things. And you got your normal air conditioning up here. You got a strip of carbon fiber. You got a strip of carbon fiber down over here with your Quattro symbol right by your glove box.
Well, we are in the back of this RSQ3, and one of the things is that it is spacious enough. Now, I am 5'8". I'm not the tallest person. I have plenty of leg room. Headroom would be okay, but a person over 6 foot will have troubles. Let me close the door just to check. Very solid. If you look down here, you have your ISOFIX anchor points for your child seat. Now, it's not that good, because you will lose these. It is very temperamental. Your armrest down, it feels very solid. So like when I open here, you got your 2 cup holders, and then sadly though, in the middle you do not have your climate controls in like other Audis, other than like the S7 I showed you last week. So you only have these 2 vents, and you only have these, which determine whether it will be hot or it'll be cold. Not really that intuitive, although, but having view sitting back, if you sit back here, it's not really a good way of seeing, because this area right here is very obstructive. I mean, I literally have to look to the side to try see. There's no open cut over here, and the seats are very, very comfortable though. As I'm sitting back here, I can easily on a long drive be comfortable back here. Although stretching, it's not really that good, even though the seats are high. But other than that, the back seat is very good. Carpeting is, I can say okay. I can say carpeting is okay. It's not the best, not like Alcantara. Like you can't have Alcantara carpets. But other than that, let's go check out the boot.
So, the boot. First thing I can tell you is that it's electric. So, you open it up, and right there you can see you've obviously got a lot of boot space. You've got space for a couple of bags. You've got this aluminium bit over here so you don't break anything. And a secret compartment that hides your spare tire and other things that will help you on distance, like your triangle. You've got little cubby hole bits on the sides, some tie down hooks, and so often people, when they try and test the boot space, they want to see how it's like when you have to actually lie down in the car. So, oh my goodness, obviously you're gonna get rid of this. Pretty easy, you can lie down here. In terms of getting these things up, you're gonna have to pull one of these tethers around here, and you're gonna have to pull them to be able to pull this up. What happens if you forget that, or if you don't do it strong enough? Your seat ends up very weirdly. This is not a position that anyone sits in, so you're gonna have to try over and over and over again. Just like now, we're gonna pull the tether, and then it sticks in this position, and then you have to pull the tether again to move it further back. It's really annoying. You have to pull it down. Oh yes, once and again. That's very annoying, and it's probably the only thing that would put me off of buying this, because let me be straight with you right now. My family loves traveling, and when we're not traveling, we're buying things that are very big. So if I have to get a surfboard into here, it would be very, very stressful, because I have to rest the surfboard on the car so that I can get these seats down. Obviously this is not as hard as the Aston Martin Rapide I did 2 weeks ago, but you don't have 2 million rand if you're going to buy this car.
Okay, so now we're gonna go under the hood of this little beast. So I'm just gonna come in here. So under the hood of this little beast powers a 2.5 liter turbo 5-cylinder, which produces around 294 kilowatts of power, which is right around 300 horsepower. So it is a small car, but it packs quite a punch.
So we've been with this car for a few minutes now, actually about an hour or two, and the problem is, the biggest problem that I have with this car, it's an incredible car by the way, really, really good. If you have the money, definitely gun for this car, because there's no other car like this in South Africa available right now. Right now. Look, the other rivals that this car has really aren't as good, and the closest rival that you get is probably a Clubman JCW, which is cheaper, but it isn't as incredible as a car just based on first few minutes impressions. This car really does give great impressions. It's a really great car. It's definitely Audi standard, no doubt about that. But my biggest problem with this car is the fact that I really do think it's more of a gimmick. Really, first minute impressions, definitely the car hits you. It's a definite RS car, I'm not gonna lie about that. But it feels like gimmick in the fact that there isn't an S version to differentiate this from that, which kind of makes it feel like the EcoBoost Mustang. And I hate myself for saying this, but it does, because that car tries so much to be the Mustang of the people, and this tries so much to be the RS car of the people. You know, the people who can't afford the RS5 that's next to this car, people who can't afford the S7 that Eugene reviewed a couple of days ago. This car is for those people, the people who want to get into the RS experience but can't really afford the purebred RS cars, and that's the problem. It feels like it's a discount RS car, and it shouldn't feel like that, but it does. It's my problem with it. I'd buy it. I definitely would. If I had 1.3 million rand, definitely. I'd walk away with this car, this exact model right now. I would. But my problem is that I'd drive this car and an RS3 would pull up next to me, and I'd wish I would really wish I'd be in the RS3. And that's the biggest problem with this car. It's the biggest problem. Other than that though. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I give you the RSQ3.
It's gonna be loud.